All right, so now I want to show you a product that I have become obsessed with as of the last 6 months or so. And I don't know if any of you have tried to or do regularly use acrylic, but I found the Matisse Gesso. This medium is awesome, and you see it a lot of times transparent in transparent forms where it's focused on like making your acrylics spread, making them nice and creamy so they really, really glide rather than just, straight out of the tube. You'll see them in different textures. This one's high tooth, so I'm going to use it to create some texture. But otherwise, they have a ton that are colors, and I've replaced all of my acrylic paints with these guys. I just love using this, and I'll show you how easily this glides on here. It's incredible. I don't think I've opened this one yet. New color today. How exciting. Okay, so I actually end up using a lot of this too because salvage, All right, so I'll grab my wash brush and I'm just going to take a little bit off of here. You see my brush is like, it has very little, but look at this. That is like creamy, opaque goodness, right? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. A little bit goes a long way. And then these tubes are giant in comparison to what you get on paper. So that's rad. So once I have that down, I'm going to add a couple more colors in. I'm just going to do a few here. This is Victoria Pink. What I just used is Antique Green. Okay, note, if you care, rinse your brush off before you go in because you could transfer color. I wiped mine off pretty well. I'm also pretty messy. So I just like the way that, layering looks and whatnot, and I just don't really care about keeping colors integrity. I know not everybody thinks that way. Okay, so as you can see, I'm keeping some of these areas true to their color. I'm overlapping some, creating some texture in here, and then getting that color on its own as well. Okay, and then I can add black. I wanted to add black to a little bit of this to kind of gray it up. There we go. So some darker gray, and then I'll do some lighter gray. I'm gonna get this off my brush for the most part. Come back in, bring more of this in so it gets a little bit lighter. And then even lighter. So you can see I'm just kind of playing with how I am able to mix this. And then I'm bringing more color along with me. So this all started with a little bit of this black, and I'm just bringing it into over here. And I'm choosing Victoria Pink because I think that it adds a little more interest than had I chosen like gray or white to mix. I just like how it has kind of a dirtier undertone, if you will. I made that a little too dark. Here we go. Yeah, and then I just layer, and I layer until I'm happy with the color that it, that it results in. And then when you get the color that you like, you can go over it so it's nice and smooth, or you can do, a whole bunch of different directions so that it's more textured. And then I can go in and grab some of this. I don't think I've used this one yet either. Nope. Some of this toothy texture. Whoops. And I'm making a big mess. It's fine. All right, so this is that texture. I'm going to put it in here. And the thing about the texture is, see how that's creating that toothy? I'll get that closer so you can see. It's creating kind of a toothy, raised texture. So that can be really fun to work with as far as, a paintbrush or external materials. Like, I could use the end of my paintbrush. See how that creates a little design in there? I could use like a toothpick, or I could use like found objects, even sticks. So just creating that added texture. This is white, it's not clear. So that's something to note. If you use textures like this, then you want to make sure, and the more you use, the more toothy it can become because it's going to dry that way. I just don't want it to look like it's obviously laid down with a paintbrush. I could use something else, but I'm not going to. You can also grab your finger, go into a different area, and see that presents a different, or results in a different result? Sure. So just play with it, like get messy. This is the idea here, is just we're playing, we're diving in, we're having some fun. So one thing I want to note, when you're using this kind of medium, it's not the same as when you're using watercolor. So when I use watercolor, I can easily go into my water and just rinse my brush really well and call it good. This one I actually want to go in and run under a sink, and I'm not using any sort of brush cleaner. I just don't think it's necessary. It's toxic and gross, and nobody needs it. I just go in and I'm going to open my bristles like this under the water and really massage in so that it gets all of this out. For more product reviews, make sure to turn on notifications, and I will see you soon.